am really convinced that Charlie was not responsible for his drinking that night. You were.
Oh, here we go again.
Because, you see, you absolutely refused to give me a straight answer.
Okay. I did not cause Charlie to go off the wagon, all right? Is that a straight enough answer for you?
No. See, you wouldn't be quite so rattled if you weren't hiding something. So I suggest you tell me what it is, or I'll just stop the car and I'll leave you on the side of the road again, okay?
Fine. You want the truth?
Mm-hmm.
You really want to know what happened that night? Okay. Charlie fell off the wagon and into my bed. We slept together. Happy now?
Okay, that's a lie.
Do not ask for the truth if you can't handle it.
Look, if this tryst happened, it was obviously none too memorable because Charlie has no recollection of it whatsoever.
Well, that's what he tells you. Would you really like to hear how it happened?
Oh, I bet you're gonna tell me.
Yes. Charlie and I were in the emergency room. It was right after Adriana's accident. Charlie was very upset because of your awful rejection of him. I was a bit upset myself because Adriana and I had an awful scene. Anyway, Charlie rushed out. Oh, I got worried that he was going to hurt himself, so I followed him. And sadly, when I found him, he was drinking.
Where was he?
In the park. Yes. With a bottle that he had bought for himself. Poor guy. He was so devastated. He said the only way that he could numb the pain from the terrible things that you had said to him was to drink. And then it occurred to me, what if the shoe were on the other foot? What if this was Viki, who found Mel drinking? Wouldn't she try to help him? And so I decided to take Charlie home with me. He was really miserable, and I confess, I needed to soothe my own pain, and so I joined him in a few drinks.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, you beg him not to drink, then you take him home and you join him? That's helpful.
My goal at that point was to comfort him. Because as Charlie was pouring out the vodka, he was also pouring out his heart to me. And he said it was very comforting to have a woman listen to him who wasn't so judgmental. And then, in an effort to get him to lighten up, well, I'm afraid we had a few giggles at your expense.
Did you?
Yes, we did. I'd always liked Charlie. But that night he seemed especially charming and vulnerable, and one thing led to another.
You know what? I just don't believe it. I think even if Charlie had been 4 sheets to the wind, he would not have gone to bed with you.
I believe that you said the same thing about Joey and Clint. And as I recall, they both ended up in my bed, too.
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I'm gonna go get help. I'm gonna get help. I'll be right back. You guys just stay there we are.
I'm not gonna take Brody away from you. I just want to make sure you're safe.
Dad takes good care of me, same as you do.
Driving after a few beers, that doesn't fly with me.
But Dad just said he was gonna make it better. Doesn't that count for something?
All right, well, how does this work anyway? Do you need my name, rank, and serial number?
No last names, no ranks, no bosses here.
We're all the same.
Just a bunch of drunks.
So, what do you want to hear?
Whatever you want to tell us.
Dad wants us to be a happy family. Is that ever gonna happen?
What do you mean?
Just, are we ever gonna be like a real family? Where you and Dad are real parents, and not just friends?
I got back from Iraq last fall after years of back-to-back tours, and before that, Afghanistan. I lost a lot of friends, but I'm alive. No bad injuries. Don't know why it worked out that way, but it did. When I finally got back, I don't really know how to explain it, but nothing was right anymore. I couldn't stop seeing my buddies. The ones I saw die, ones who were still there. It seemed like the only thing that would stop me seeing them was booze. And the only thing I really could feel was the ass beatings I took in the bar fights I always started. It was all I wanted to feel. Until I came here to Landview. Hooked up with my ex-girlfriend and her son. They made things start to be right again. They made me want to be the guy I was. The guy I know I can be again.
Charlie lies to you for months about just about everything, and yet you are convinced that you know he would never have slept with me. He needed a confidant, someone simpatico, someone who knew who he really was and what lies he was telling. And that person was me.
And the last person that I remember talking to that night was Dorian.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. I just came from Dorian's place where I put it to her, and she's just kept saying that I don't know what I'm talking about.
She would do that.
Right, but while I was questioning her, I had this very strange image or some memory.
Of what?
Of being in Dorian's bed.
I'm sorry, Viki. I know that this is very, very hard on your already battered ego. But it did happen, and you know it.